Benvenuti a questa prima puntata di In Residenza a Casa di, una rubrica di interviste dedicate agli artisti che sono stati in residenza al Teatro della Cittadella. In questa prima puntata incontriamo Darragh McLoughlin, che è stato in residenza a febbraio al Teatro della Cittadella con due progetti, Stickman e The Exhibition Project. Darragh è un artista che abbiamo conosciuto abbastanza qui in Valle, è stato ospitato 2 volte al Festival T-Dance con 2 suoi lavori, The Whistle e Stickman appunto, e a febbraio ha fatto questo passaggio in residenza da noi. Questa intervista sarà in inglese. Alcuni dei contenuti di queste interviste, come anche di alcune altre interviste delle nostre rubriche, saranno in altre lingue, in inglese e in francese. Quindi passo ora all'inglese e saluto Darragh. Hi Darragh.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, everything's fine in my life. I can't complain.
Okay, good. So let's start with this first interview for the program in residenza a casa di, which means in residency at Darragh's house. So we have a few questions we wanted to ask and about how you're living this moment of confinement and what are your project for the future. So I will start with where are you right now? What is your house like? What is your confinement space?
So I'm in Berlin at the moment, and I guess it will stay like that for the foreseeable future. And I'm in a beautiful apartment that I just moved into with my girlfriend, and actually we're incredibly fortunate because we moved in just as the shit hit the fan, and everything got really bad and the borders closed, and we kind of made the move at the very last second. So we're very fortunate, and we're in a very beautiful top floor apartment and not a studio flat anymore. So we have different rooms, different spaces where we can share or not share when need be. And we also have some height, so we can rig things and we can still practice quite freely.
Yeah,
So,
right. Because one of the problems is practicing your skill. So keep training, even though you're at home. So how are you training if you're still training since you've been at home? And what is your training like?
So I'm not training a lot at the moment, and it's an interesting moment for everyone, I'm sure, in all their own ways. But my own practice, I'm just training a little bit each day, and I'm keeping up my basic physical practice, just doing some body work every day. But I don't have like a rigorous training plan or some corona goals or some, I don't know, amazing thing I'm trying to achieve. Actually, I'm focusing on some other things at the moment, such as just other projects I have, other skills I'm trying to train. My baking is improving daily. My chess rating is going up slowly, and some other kind of intellectual hobbies I like to do. So, to be honest, apart from the death and destruction in the world, I'm welcoming the time and space.
Yeah. So can you describe a typical day for you?
Okay, typical day. So normally I wake up at around 10 to 11. And this is because that my girlfriend has time in the morning and I stay up mostly later at night. So we just have a little bit of a window each day where it's our time, and we know it's not like even in the middle of the day, of course, you can, if I want to do something private, I can go to another space. But it's also very nice to have a time where I don't need to negotiate space with anyone. And I think for my girlfriend as well. So we've kind of created a natural async timeline in our days. Then I normally would start my day with some coffee. I'm very much into coffee at the moment. And while my coffee is brewing, I would do some basic stretches and get my body moving. And when my coffee is ready, I normally play 1 or 2 games of chess in the morning. I find it just very stimulating, and it's a nice way for me to start my day. And then I just look at the empty day ahead of me and wonder what I feel like doing. And I do that. I don't, I have like vague goals, which I'm slowly chipping away at, but I'm trying not to get into this productivity frenzy right now. To be honest, it's not something that really fit with me anyway. And I'm kind of enjoying the fact that everyone seems to be forced to live more like I live in general. And I'm kind of enjoying seeing the reactions of everyone in the world. Um, of course, there is a darker tone to this, where there are many people in situations not like my own and that are suffering a lot. But where I am, it's very simple actually. And yeah, so I have a few little side projects I'm chipping away at. I try to put in an hour or two every day into. But I'm not in a super productive mode at the moment, and it suits me fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's your question exactly, but I don't really have a fixed day, actually. I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
And I just do what I feel like. And sometimes I feel like practicing a lot, and sometimes I don't. And that's what I do. I don't force it.
In terms of working activity, what have you been forced to cancel in terms of shows, workshops, or residencies, and how did you reorganize, or how are you planning to reorganize in the future?
So I had a couple. Yeah, I did have some shows cancelled. I mean, honestly, I think I'm very fortunate in regards to my situation and the timing of this event, because I didn't actually have a lot of work planned anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like I just spent 6 months planning a 100 show tour and that got cancelled. It's more, I've had a few festivals cancelled, and most of them have been rescheduled or I've been compensated for. So actually, I think everything's turned out very well for me, and I feel very privileged in that regards. As for work, I've been doing some online research classes at some circus schools, or actually at one circus school, the Etage in Berlin. So I've been doing some online classes, following the student processes, and mostly guiding each of them individually and trying to motivate them to keep working. And I guess actually I've realized that it's very easy for me to motivate other people, and I realize I'm missing that for myself a little bit. But I don't feel unmotivated, but I don't have anyone giving me homework as such, except for myself, which is always nice.
Yeah,
And
you're
the impending deadline as well. I've taken the time to also apply for some funding for next year and to secure future projects.
yeah. You are, as I said before, in Italian. Now I will say it in English. You're a performance artist. Your roots are in contemporary circus. You've been programmed quite a few times in Aosta. You've been twice at Tea Dance Festival with 2 works, The Whistle and Stickman. And you've been in residency with your latest projects, mainly the exhibition project, which for me is very interesting performance, durational performance in February at Teatro della Cittadella. How are your touring works doing? I mean, what about The Whistle? Is it still touring or stopped?
My touring works are here at home with me at the moment.
Do you plan to have more dates of The Whistle, or you?
No, I mean, honestly, I do try to not have dates for The Whistle. That's my touring strategy for The Whistle, is to not tour it. and I seem to fail at this sometimes because I end up performing it the way. And I think it's like I think it's something very particular to my way of working, but I feel like once I've moved on from a project, I'm not really interested in it anymore, and it feels like going back to the past and dealing with old shit. And my mind is much more on Stickman, the exhibition project, and some other little things brewing in the background.
So
But I
how
find
are they doing? How are Stickman and the
uh,
exhibition project doing right
They're
now?
okay.
Are you
The exhibition
thinking?
project, I've applied for funding for next year. If I get that, it will rocket start the project, and we'll be able to really make it next year. If it doesn't happen, we'll start smaller and just build it up. And yeah, actually, with one festival I was supposed to perform at, the Tea Festival, which you know, they're now redesigning their festival so that they basically put it online and that the artists produce a kind of version of their work for an online audience. And so I've decided, I've offered to do something like the exhibition project for in live streaming, where I will attempt up to 6 hours. And but let's see what I can do. And I again will have Joe Summers supporting me with his music. And this will be in 3 weeks actually. So this is quite imminent.
Okay.
And so this is actually, I kind of really welcome that. It's like, okay, great. Now it makes sense for me to practice like that again, because I don't really enjoy doing the endurance practice. I find it quite painful to do for very long times. So I've more been doing like 20-minute sessions regularly and feeling that's no problem at all. And knowing that the multiple hour session is just a different work. It's a different training. So but now I have a deadline. It will kind of kick me in the ass to do longer sessions again, and I have a perfect place for it. So,
Do you think this period is in some ways is productive for your research, or do you find it difficult to focus on a project, on a specific project?
I don't find it particularly productive, but I don't find it's uh, really gotten in the way either. I think it's. I feel I'm just waiting. I'm just observing my situation, the world situation, and trying to just take time. I'm not. I don't like. I notice so many people jumping online within a few days with this need to get out there and be important still and matter, and I think this for me, I just realized there isn't a place for my live performance at the moment. And I'm open for the live streaming challenge, but I haven't been feeling it from what other people have been doing in general. Um, and it's not everyone, because I think some art work through live streaming. Like, for example, like there's one music artist who's been doing like 3 hour live music sessions, and they've been perfect because his sound equipment's really good. The music comes across in perfect quality. But a lot of visual artists and movement-based artists, I feel I'm not feeling it most of the time when I'm watching it. So I'm curious how this exhibition idea will come across. And it's just a big question of, yeah, what is live performance? Now we're having this live conversation, but it's very different from talking in front of a real audience. And the way people perceive it, everyone's looking at their little screen. It's a completely different way of experiencing art. And I don't feel a big need to translate my work into live streaming suddenly. I think I just have to wait. The world will need me again later. And for now, I just have to do what feels relevant with the situation I'm in. Because I don't feel a huge relevance of my work right now. And that's interesting because actually 6 months ago, I felt it was very relevant and something the world uh, not so much needed, but would be very open for. And I like the way my work provokes people. But right now, I think I just need to wait, really. Wait till it's my time again. and just try to stay busy and happy. And that's what I'm doing.
Okay. One last question. If there are many things we cannot do or experience right now because of the quarantine, if there is one thing out of the many things we cannot do or that are not there at the moment that you wouldn't want to come back once this period finishes,
What is it? I think that thing is, it's not for myself. I want everyone else to remember what it feels like to have a lot of time, and to remind themselves that it's their choice that they live how they do. And if they've never had time for anything until now, something to think about. But I'm really enjoying everyone else, in fact, who suddenly seems to be in a more similar situation to how I live normally. Because actually, apart from the daily restrictions to my life, not so much has changed. And I say that from a great position of privilege that I'm aware of. But yeah, I hope everyone else has learned from this and learns what it means to spend days and weeks with their family, to have nobody can say the excuse I have no time anymore, which I was just so sick of hearing for years and years. That just that how this construct of no time feels like a kind of pandemic in itself. And I think it's gripped the world for an incredible amount of time, and even in the pandemic, where everyone suddenly is like, oh my God, how can we be productive now? Like, to just reflect on what that means and what it means to have time again. And when it all goes back, what do you want to change? I think that's my question, because this has been an incredible lesson for a lot of people. And hopefully an incredible time for self-reflection. And just speaking to my parents recently, they said for the first time they're at home, but they're kind of on holiday. Normally they go on holiday when they leave home, but now they're at home on holiday. And that's that was a great thing to hear, because often home meant a lot of life, the stress around life and all the things you have to do and all the things you have to do to keep your business going. And it's great that home can also be a space of calmness and peace and time for yourself.
thank you. So I think we can end it here. Thank you, Darragh. I hope we'll be able to see each other very soon in presence.
Me too.
And good luck for all your future projects.
Yeah, you too. And we'll be in touch, and I hope to see you in Osta again soon.
Yeah, me too.